Did it really? Cool. Hello everyone, I'm Alan, also known as McLaren 2009, and today I'm playing Derail Valley once again. But I don't know what I'm going to be doing today. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to be working on this particular stream. I'm thinking I'm gonna do like I normally do. I'm gonna set up my diesel locomotives over here. 76 and 77. Gonna hook up to my caboose over there. And then I'm going to run something somewhere. Not sure exactly yet. When I was last in the station office, I noticed that there were some runs going up to City Southwest, a couple going to the manufacturing town, and a couple of things like that. Alright, let's fire this up. Alright, basically, to not cause problems when I couple this, rebuild air pressure. That's no big deal. Replace the independent. Throttle up. And I'm starting to figure out that you don't want to couple on these curves here. So instead, I'm going to go past it out toward, or out in front of the caboose. Alright, let's throttle up real quick. Alright, let's take a look at chat. Nothing going on there real quick. Stream. Make sure we're still alive and the internet hasn't died on me. Alright, so more than likely what I'm gonna do is take something hazardous, and I'm not sure yet if I'm going to run up towards the goods factory or if I'm going to run towards the manufacturing town or machine factory. Or I could go to City Southwest, the oil well, steel mill. Or I could grab a couple of these military jobs and go with that. Basically, the possibilities are endless. Give it a little bit farther. And let's put that into neutral. I fully applied the independent, right? Yeah. Alright, basically we don't want this locomotive running away from us. Alright, but now there is enough space that we can get the second locomotive hooked up so that it's in a straight line. Basically, it starts to cause all kinds of problems. Well, it doesn't cause problems, it just makes it difficult. So you want to try to couple on straight track. Alright, so let's go grab my second locomotive real quick and go from there. Alright. Now, just like with the last one, turn on the cab light. Let's go up here. No, come on. Knife switch. Let's go fire up the engine. Alright. Now this one has even less air. Alrighty. Cut out the independent. And start to throttle up. Even though we won't be able to move much until the brakes or the main reservoir is full. Or not the main reservoir, the what's the word I'm looking for? The brake pipe has to be at working pressure. Which, in this game, that is 4 bar. Huh? You know? This is a new one. I've played this game for a long time, and I have never seen that happen before. Let me double check some things. Make sure my computer's not gonna like explode or something. And we'll double check this, make sure OBR is still working. Alright, now let's go love tap the other locomotive. Get backed up to the caboose over here. And we'll go on our merry way. I feel like I should check how much the caboose weighs. Because you're absolutely not supposed to have it at the front. It's supposed to be at the back. Apply the independent, and let's go couple the locomotives. Okay, now keep a good mental note of this. I'm hooking from the back to the front because apparently the game likes that better than doing it from the front to the back. Okay, we've connected the MU cable. All right. All right, through the switch. Now let's couple up with the caboose. Not that fast, though. Alright, generally, in order for it to be worth it to have two locomotives, I need to do something heavy. And if I decide to go back to the military base and run more nuclear flasks, there's a third diesel over there that I can use. Alright, let's tap the brakes a little bit. Alright, that should be good. Alright. Now, once again, back to front. Brakes. Okay. Yeah, I hit both brake valves. Okay, now, because I'm kind of curious if it stayed applied, let's grab this. It did not. Alright, so it's probably safe to say that that doesn't do anything as of yet. Alright. Now let's get back over here. Honestly, it would probably be a good idea to just stop right here. Because there's a distinct possibility that whatever I pick up next could be down there on the C track. So, bearing that in mind, let's get past the switch, get into this area, and let's just stop right here. Alright. Locomotive. 115,000 kilograms. 115,000. And this is just 22,000. So, just for the sake of argument, let's run over here to this empty tanker. 19,000 kilograms. Alright, so empty, it's smaller than the caboose, but full, it's a lot heavier. Alright, let's go over here and check the station office and see what we can get into. Alright, so last time I started kind of sorting through some of this stuff to see which way I wanted to go. There were a couple of good ones going up to the food factory, but the problem is I don't want to go to the food factory. Goods factory is pretty good. A couple going to the steel mill. The really cool thing is this logistics haul going to Oil Well Central is paying pretty good. In fact, both of these are. And that's going to Oil Well Central. And this is going to the farm. So, they're pretty small jobs. And we'll hit the farm before we hit Oil Well Central. These are heavier anyway. Alright. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to haul boxcars and empty tankers. Okay, we need, of course, all right. Well, these are heavier, so they've got to go up front. All right. So let's turn this back on, go forward. All right, let's get past this switch. Now, this is not going to be a particularly glamorous or exciting delivery, but oddly enough, these logistics jobs, or these two logistics jobs, are paying pretty well. So, a couple of empty tankers, a couple of empty boxcars, and we're good. And then the best part is, once we get to, like, the farm, for example, we might be able to find something else that's also going either towards the oil well or City Southwest. It's completely within the realm of possibility that we could get something going all the way up to the machine factory. But that's anyone's guess. Okay, let's hit that. Alright, now we gotta get to C1S. To be fair, I kind of brought this upon myself. Alright. Oh. Hitting the reverser wouldn't do a thing. We're already in reverse. Alright. Now we aligned this switch to go into the C yard. But then we're going to have to go back this way because we got to get to the G yard. Which I should start lining things up for that. G7S. Alright, going towards D and G. Aligned for G. And 7 should be over there? Maybe? Alright, right. Because this should be 4. 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And there is 7. G7S. Okay. Now let's go back and check on... Let's go check on my train. We gotta go back forward out this way. Let's double check what's going on with the chat. No, not that. This. Nothing. Okay, let's ease back on the throttle real quick. And let's go bump into these tankers. Gotta speed it up a little bit. Especially with that random bump in the track slowing me down. And let's grab our logistics. Job CGS 628. Yep, 628. And we're already at 20-something minutes, so... Alright. So, as per usual, probably not getting a speed bump. And to make sure we didn't break anything. Did not. And nothing's broke there either. Alright, so back, front. Air hose, open, open. Alright, now let's run all the way to the back. And let's check on the brake pipe at the end of this mess. Oh, that's pretty handy. There's another cut of cars back here. Alright, all the brakes are tied in. Alright. So let's set that to go forward. Alright, once that gets up a little bit of speed... Can I go through here? Yeah, I can. Let's get it up to like 15 and probably stop it there. Alright, good to go. Don't get too close to moving cars. Alright, let's teleport up ahead a little bit. Oh, actually, we gotta stop by this sign, or this switch, so that we can switch it back to the loading track in case I need to turn around on the return trip. couple more cars. I mean, really, the fun doesn't stop there, because I gotta go over to that switch on the other side of the Y and get back aligned to go to the G track. So really, the fun never stops. Alright. Past the switch. Is it on this side? Yes, it is. Okay, let's speed it up a little bit. And basically, you don't want the caboose in that position. But to be completely honest, it's not hurting anything. The things behind it are lighter than it, so it's not gonna derail because of that. There are other things that could probably make it derail, but fortunately at the moment that isn't one of them. Hit the train brake. Alright, now let's pop it into reverse. And let's get this party started. Basically, I've just accepted that I'm not getting a speed bonus, like, ever again. You just kind of have to make peace with it. Alright. Hello. Yep, right there. Okay, that's good. At least the system works. Didn't think too many people watched these streams, if I'm being completely honest. But as a little bit of an update, I'm currently working on running 2 logistics haul missions from here in the harbor. These are going to Oil Well Central, and I'm working on getting backed up to a couple of boxcars that are over here on the G lot, and they're going to the farm. So not only are they being organized by which ones are heavier, being closer to the front, they're also being dropped off in that order. So we're going to pull through the farm, back in these couple of boxcars on this job, and then we're going to drop these off at the oil well. And just maybe I can find a couple more jobs going towards either City Southwest or the machine factory. Starting out, this one's going to be a little bit lighter, find out how far back they are. Okay, they're pretty close to the cutoff. Or they're pretty pretty close to the turn. But because I forgot to verify the integrity of my game files, I'm still dealing with the invisible, like, speed bumps and barriers that are really slowing me down at random points on the track. I honestly don't know what's going on there. Alright, there's my tanker. We're slowing down. For being completely flat, there's a lot of resistance on the tracks. Funny how that works sometimes. And really, this is a lot of cars. And the logistics jobs don't go to the inbound track, they go to storage tracks, which means there's a slim chance I'm going to have to push something out of the way. It's kind of like a purple color CBX 377. Yep. Right where it's supposed to be. Alright, we're going about 7 kilometers an hour. So in theory, it should be safe to just hit the car at that speed. But it's probably going to slow down by then. Alright, going 5. Less than a car length. And let's set the independent. At least partially, anyway. Alright, once again, back to the front. Keep this in mind because it will be on the test. Alright, now let's go to the back. Check to make sure there's air coming out. Okay, airline's connected. Now, let's throttle up. Alright, now basically what I'm trying to do now that I've got everything coupled on... Oh, actually the individual cars or the empty box cars are heavier than the empty tankers. Who knew? Alright. So, being 1,000 kilograms heavier, they should actually be in front of the tankers. But the number of tankers, there's more of them, so that load was listed as being heavier. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to wait for the train to clear this switch so that I can get this lined up back with track 4, which is the main line for this section. So on the off chance that you come in from the back over there, you don't have to worry about accidentally like blowing a switch or anything like that. Alright. And it's generally a good practice to have everything aligned with the main anyway, because the main is always clear. The only exception being I tend to line these, like D and C, up with the loading track. I don't worry about it too much with the D track, because there's no way out back there. But the C track, I use it to turn around. Alright. I need to get onto... Okay, it's on this side. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is line up this switch right here with the main line going through the E track over there. Because when I do the military cargo loads coming down from the military base up in the mountains, I always come in the back of the E track. So I want to keep this lined up with the main so that I don't mess anything up. Basically, I try to get it in such a way that I can keep doing like loops going through the different industries and station areas. And this is actually a pretty good length train. It's not like insanely realistic or detailed, but it's a pretty good size one. As far as the game goes, anyway. Alright, clear the switch. Alright, now that's back aligned for E. And let's put this away. Alright, instead of trying to walk all the way over there, let's just teleport. Enjoy it while we can, because it won't be there forever. Or at least you won't be able to teleport in that way forever. Alright, B3S. Alright, how much do you want to bet there's going to be something on it? That track is not going to be empty. Alright, now for the hard part. Going up this mountain is pretty steep. It's something like 2.3% up at like its steepest point. And with 2 sets of empty cars, I probably won't be fully utilizing the 2 locomotives. But I almost found out the hard way that I almost found out the hard way that 2 locomotives is not enough to get nuclear flasks out of the harbor. Especially not 2 loads of them. Or was it 3? It might have been 3. Either way, they were insanely heavy. And going uphill was not fun. Like, I literally got stalled coming up this grade. Now the sign back there says you go 40 through here. I generally try to keep it around about 35. Even though the speed limit is going to go up multiple times, like I think it gets up to like 70 at one point through here, but with how much this like weaves and winds, I'm not going 70 through here. There is just no way. I don't want to roll the dice and risk destroying the cars just for the simple fact that at the late game, when you have all of the licenses, it means your insurance copay is high. So basically any damage that I cause is coming out of my pocket directly. So I generally tend to play this game safe. Alright, let's get up to 5, I think. Basically, you want to hit the throttle enough that you're accelerating, but not reaching your maximum safe speed. Now, what's going to be interesting is when I get around here, I have to flip this switch to head out west. Alright. Yeah, see, we can go 70, but we're not going 70, because most of our train is still back in a 40k zone, so back there can still derail. So yeah, basically I tend to play this game very cautiously. Alright. Making progress. The way the controls and stuff is set up in this locomotive, it kind of reminds me of the GP38 that you get to play with in Train Sim World. Like, it's not in any way, like, close, but it's the closest one I can think of. Because it doesn't have the, compartment, or doesn't have like the crew space down here in the nose. Both the doors are in this room. It just kind of reminds me of it. I think they said this one was inspired by like a really old, like exported EMD locomotive. I don't know too much about locomotives as of yet, because I'm still trying to get into the railroad. Not there yet. Let's back off a little bit. We're still on the mostly uphill portion. Now there's a little bit of a buffer, like you can go slightly over the speed limit and you won't derail, but it's kind of a gamble. Now these are all empty so that nothing's going to blow up, but funny thing about that, those are tankers. And they're sometimes used for gasoline in this game. Now, gasoline is one of those things that the vapors are so insanely flammable that a container used to store gasoline has to be cleaned and purged so that no residue remains. Because if residue remains, it still has to be placarded as containing gasoline, even if it's otherwise empty. And then the part that makes that interesting is when you look at, say, propane, for example. Liquid propane doesn't burn easily, but it doesn't stay liquid for long. The vapor is the part that burns. So when, like, a propane cylinder, like one of the big tanks, like you see outside of a building, if it catches on fire, or if there's fire near the cylinder, there's like a amount of time it can be exposed to fire. As long as it's full, it can be near a fire for a certain amount of time before it detonates. But the kicker is that basically, if it is not full, it is a rapidly ticking bomb. Because the liquid in it is going to start to boil, and as it boils, it creates more vapor, and it increases the pressure inside the tank. Now, there's a pressure relief valve on the tank that prevents the pressure from building up too far, but it can only do but so much. So once it's down to the point where the boiling liquid is increasing the pressure faster than the relief valve can release it, it's going to explode. And then once you have the pressure exploding, you have the vapor getting added to the fire, and you have a explosion from the tank, and then you have the fireball of the now igniting vapor cloud. Basically, it's just a bad time. Gasoline can do that same thing, except gasoline is so sensitive. It doesn't have that kind of like bumper or like buffer that a gas tank can be exposed to fire, because it's just gonna blow. Gasoline is very volatile, which is kind of like the whole point I'm making. Is it obvious that I'm really proud of having my hazmat endorsement? And my minimal work with environmental protection when I was still in the Marine Corps. Right around this corner, we're going to start going downhill. But as you can see, our train is still back there. So we're going to ease off on the throttle right here and just kind of like coast down. I'll apply the brake as I need it, but not going to need it for long. Because we need the rest of the train to get out of the 40-kilometer zone, and then we can let it get up to 60 is usually a pretty good number for this area. Alright. It would be good to get a delivery to City Southwest, because that is the one place I can do maintenance on 2 locomotives without causing any problems. And it's only a problem as of right now. When the simulator update comes out and they introduce multiple unit servicing, it won't be an issue anywhere. You can just back up both locomotives, just slam them into the roundhouse, connect one of them, and you can refuel both. It's a really cool thing that I'm absolutely looking forward to. Alright, and as you can see, we are slowly but surely speeding up again. As a general rule, it doesn't seem like you want to use the throttle going downhill unless you're absolutely coming to a stop. That seems like, at least for me, that's the criteria that I use. Alright. We are making progress. And we are speeding up. According to that, we can go 120. But I just don't want to risk it. Especially since we can only go that speed for but so long. You gotta slow down to around 50, maybe 60 when you get to this switch. And then it gets even worse when you get to the next switch. That one's definitely like no more than 50. And then this corner right here is where it gets insane, because that's like one of the steepest hills in the game. And that one's like 3.3%. Granted, it's only right there. Like, literally that segment of the Y, that is where it's over 3%. And it is a mess when you have a heavy load. Go here real quick. Alright. Stream is holding on. Holding at 40. Alright. 70. Yeah, see, the thing about the speed limit zones is you can only do the lowest speed that you have a car in that zone. So you have to go with the lowest speed limit that a part of your train is in the zone for. So right now we're down to 60. So the rest of the train that's still back in that 120 zone, we can only go 60 right here. And we're still holding at 40. And it's a really good idea to coast as much as you can, because it saves fuel. Now, it'll be interesting when the traction motors get implemented with the simulator update, because then the diesel will just be keeping the batteries charged. So we won't be using as much diesel. We'll still be using it, but not nearly as much. And instead, we got to worry about the temperature going to the traction motors. I was worrying in an earlier stream about whether or not the engine temp gauge was even doing anything, but since I've just been idling the engine, the temp's gone way down. We're picking up speed, but I gotta keep it under 50 because the boxcars are just getting to the turn. So I want to keep an eye on it. Let's set it up a little bit. That's a pretty good setting on the brake for now. Gotta get out my remote real quick, because I gotta be ready to hit this switch. Basically, I gotta keep an eye on the speedometer because it's about to get a lot steeper really soon. Okay. Yep. And we're there. And it's 50. Now, the part that's not realistic yet is you can just reduce the brake application. In reality, you wouldn't be able to do that. But that's another one of the things that's going to get better with the simulator update. Even better use or better simulation of the air brakes. Basically, it looks like in the pictures they're actually going to start using all 4 gauges. Like, you should have the equalizing reservoir, which is directly controlled by the automatic brake valve. The brake cylinder, which is the brakes directly being applied in the locomotive. The brake pipe, which is this right here, which is the actual air pressure going through the entire length of the train. And then the main reservoir, which is used to build back up the pressure in the entire pipe. Alright, and now we are at the farm. Alright. I think it's 3's right there. Yep. That is 3. And these cars are currently in the way. Alright. And I got a lot of cars I need to shove in there. Alright. Let's grab our remote. Turn this on. And let's start slowing down a little bit. And let's just jump off going 40. Safety third on this railroad. Okay. Okay, now the saving grace is that there is a lot of space for these cars. Okay, that's going to be complicated. Those aren't connected. Alright, we're going to have to shove these all the way back to here. More than likely. Alright, so get up to here. And let's get these shoved back into the yard real quick. This part does make the game pretty cool. Like figuring out how to set up your train so that it can get dropped off efficiently, how to set up the weight so you don't derail. How to get turned around, where you can turn around, the best way to position yourself at one of the industries. Alright. That barely cleared it. Alright. Alright. Now we gotta go nice and slow, because we don't want to slam into those flat cars. And then we gotta push the flat cars into the other set of box cars. We're getting hung up on something. Yeah, the freight missions are cool because they get dumped off at the inbound tracks, and the inbound ones don't generally have too much on them. You know, it's kind of funny. I say that, and then I look right here, and B2I has a line of tractors on it. Yeah, the inbound tracks are normally empty. Stares at not empty cars in the inbound tracks. Which means realistically there's probably a switching job here to unload the tractors. Alright, 6 kilometers an hour. And these don't have, I'm actually kind of curious. will the game let me tie in the air without actually coupling the cars? Apparently it will. Okay, now we gotta get up here, and we gotta wait until until the last boxcar is past this point. And it's gonna be a while before that happens. Alright. Let's just go nice and slow, because those aren't actually coupled. Tied in the air so that I can release the brakes, but they're not actually coupled. So if they become uncoupled, the train's gonna stop quick. Now the real question is that what happened? Alright, let's just play it safe. Oh. Actually, that's exactly what happened. Alright, so this is a prime example of why you do not do what I just did. Alright, we've just barely built up pressure. Okay. There. You try to cut corners, and you get punished for it. As would be expected. But since I just drained everything from there back, probably have to make sure those are pressurized again. Alright, just a couple of more cars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cars. Alright, now let's go check the other end. See if we've butchered this too much. Alright, that's 2. Let's speed it up. Basically, as long as those cars stay in front of this sign, we're good. Alright. No. What did I just do? Yep. All right. Now we uncouple these cars. uncouple these cars. And then I gotta figure out where the station office is. Alright, let's grab this, put that back where it belongs. And there's the station office. And $19,000. Took twice as long as it was supposed to. It's a good thing I'm not worried about speed. Food factory. Machine factory. Alright, yeah, nothing too exciting. Alright. Now let's go over here. Oh, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. I forgot to uncouple these cars. Oh, and we're just barely in. Okay. Now let's go over here and get this switch back aligned with the main. And they're going to be 6S, so that should be on the far right, I believe. Alright, let's double check that. Station map. Yeah. Coming from the east as we are, it is on the far left. Alright. Alright, let's drop down here. And let's put this away real quick. Don't need that at the moment. Alright. Now we've been doing this for over an hour. But Oil Well Central is literally right next to the farm. Alright, let's get the remote back. No, I want the remote back. Alright. And let's take a look. Alright, this right here is 6. Actually, there's nothing on it. There's just one problem. This is a long train. And I have to spot the cars in front of this sign. And 6S is quite literally the smallest track here. Well, I mean, it is the smallest, but it's still a pretty good size. Should be fine. It'll buff out. Alright. Going back to the harbor. Now the problem with that is we would have to turn around. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's make sure this is aligned to get into 6. Good, good, good. Good. Not. Okay. So we gotta get the last car past this point. There is a service station, but I don't think there's a roundhouse. All right. Let that build back up. If you don't use too much of the automatic brake, you can stop pretty easily, or you can still stop. It just takes like a couple of, you have to give it a couple of seconds to get through the entire train. Alright, now here is the frontmost sign. Alright, and we have 15 cars. 16 if you include the caboose. So we get 6 to 8 past this post, and we're golden. Okay, making progress. And we still got a lot of train. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. It is like barely gonna fit. Alright, 2 cars. Let's hit the independent real quick. Wanted to hit the independent so that I could slow it down a little bit, but not completely stop it. Because if I hit the train brake, it would have to build back up air pressure, so it would keep slowing down until the pressure is restored. And that would just be bad. All right. All right, good news. This one is still where I left it. And let's go down here. Oh, I had one car length left, and then it wouldn't have fit. All right. $31,000. And it took more than twice the time it was supposed to. Good thing we're not worried about working fast. Alright, let me take a quick look around the yard. Let's find out where is the service track. Alright, here's the roundhouse. Oh, there's the service track. Alright, so how am I gonna pull this off? Because it would be a good idea if I could turn around and go back the way I came. You know what? No, we're not going to do it that way. We are going to go back over to here. And we're just going to run to City Southwest and do our maintenance there. Because what I would have to do here, I would have to dump the caboose somewhere. Turn the, or pull, it's like dump the caboose somewhere, turn the locomotives into the roundhouse, turn them around, get back hooked up to the caboose, and take one of these back to the harbor. Which, that's not necessarily a bad idea, it's just a lot more trouble than it's worth. Alright. Alright. Let's put that away. Yeah, we're just gonna do it this way. Alright, so gotta keep an eye on the speed, because right around here things start getting a little bit ridiculous. Keep it under 30 just to be safe. Say it's just to be safe, but it's not gonna matter. More than likely the train's gonna break apart no matter what I do. Alright, go around this area. I still think those look like corn stalks, but I don't think they are. because that would be like the most random thing to put there. Alright, see right here, you have to be under 30. But around this corner over here is where the locomotives have this bad habit of breaking apart. Like, I have 2 locomotives coupled together with their MU cables tied in. But this area, like right here where this grass starts overgrowing onto the tracks, something about this area does not like multiple locomotives. Let's see if it doesn't. Could we have survived? Alright. Maybe we're good this time. Let's go take a look at the coupling. Yeah, everything's still right where I left it. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go past the entrance, I'm going to back in, dump the caboose on the main line going into the back lot, pull forward away from the caboose, and back onto the service track with both of these. Alright, basically I've got a plan. It might not be a good plan, but it is a plan nonetheless. And this should be set up to go right. Yep. Let's put this away real quick, get my remote back, turn that back on, and let's go this way. Alright. Why? Oh, that's a storage track. Okay. Let's hit the independent. Alright, you see this switch right here? This is the one you gotta pass to back into the yard. Alright, let's hit the independent. And that goes towards the passenger track. Alright. Okay, now we're going right, and we are going to park the caboose right here. Well, maybe not like exactly right here, because that's just a bad idea, but we're going to park it here. That way we're not blocking the road. Blocking the lead into the yard, but since I'm the only one that works in this valley, and I'm gonna hook back up to the caboose after I do my maintenance, it's not the end of the world. Although if I wanted to properly put the caboose at the back of the train, I could have shoved it down there onto the passenger track. Alright. Let's get you slowed down. And that is like the perfect place for it. Let's set that, even though I don't think it does anything. Couple that. Alright, let's go forward. And we gotta get past this switch now. Don't need to go too fast. Don't remember where the store is. I think it's over by the passing. Oh no, it's right there, maybe? Yeah, that's the shop. Okay. Okay, we are past the switch. Alright, now we are lined up with the maintenance track, with the service track. And the good news is, all we gotta do is back up the leadmost locomotive, service it, turn it off, back up the front locomotive, or back up both locomotives to the point that the front one is within the area for the service station. Service that one, and then we run over to the station, pay our fees, even though we can just run over to the caboose and pay our fees there. But we gotta go over to the station anyway, because that's where we can find out if we're getting any jobs out of here. Which, there are jobs here. It looks like there's a couple of things. Those container jobs are probably going to the harbor. And the harbor's kind of like my preferred base of operations. It's where I like to go. Alright. Let's kill this one. Yeah, this is the right one. Knife switch. Alright. Now let's put in some diesel. Haven't touched the sand. Oil's almost good. Body's good. Wheels are good. Engine's good. Alright, about 6 grand. Good news, I'll still have over $1 million after I'm done. Alright, let's release the Independent. Let's not slam into that. Alright. Kill that, kill that. Go over here and kill that. Alright, now let's do some maintenance on this one. Good. 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 And good. And almost 6 grand. All right. Now all we gotta do is just run over to the station office and pay the fees on both of these locomotives, and all is right in the world. Because just rolling a couple of feet isn't going to have much of an effect on the okay, it has somewhat of an effect. Why is 77 low? Okay, apparently the effect is the exact opposite of what I thought it would be. Alright. Now let's see. Scrap metal going to the steel mill. Logistics going to the harbor. Oh, they're not going to the harbor. They came from the harbor. Alright, so the only thing going back to the harbor is this job right here. But the good news is that we can pick up that job and go back to the harbor that way. Alright. Well, we've been doing this for almost 2 hours now. So that's probably as good of a stopping place as any. So, thank you all for watching.